So you may be thinking about using PayPal to buy something online. Or you may also be running an online business and be considering using PayPal to process your orders. Here are 5 reasons I would highly recommend you think very carefully about using PayPal.
Nobody said it'd be easy.
Now, just before we get into the video, I do want to say this is just my personal experience and just my personal opinion. These are not complete facts or an attack against PayPal. These are just my experiences. So just make sure that you understand that before jumping to any conclusions of me attacking PayPal or anything like that. I'm not necessarily 100% against PayPal. I just, from a buyer and seller perspective, have some very big concerns with the company. So reason number 1 that I would recommend not using PayPal for an online purchase. So the real concern with using PayPal is that if you have a PayPal balance and somebody scams you, rips you off, and you want to dispute that order or that purchase with PayPal, you're locked into their terms. So if PayPal decides that the seller was in the right, or the seller does something to make it look like they did the right thing even though they didn't, you're not going to get your money back because you can't reopen that claim once PayPal has made the final decision. So it's not necessarily 100% foolproof when it comes to buyer protection. This is something that I can relate to when I first started out using PayPal as a buyer. I ran into several circumstances where I was rebilled for things and I paid with my PayPal balance, and I should not have been billed because I canceled my subscription. Now, the merchants came up with a bunch of stuff and false information to make it look like I hadn't canceled my subscription when I did, and PayPal ended up siding with them and my money was gone. So before jumping to using PayPal for an online purchase and feeling that you're 100% safe, just understand that safe falls under whatever PayPal deems to be safe. So reason number 2 that I decided not to use PayPal anymore is, from my experience, the reps at PayPal are extremely rude. I've actually had dealings with reps where this actually goes into my next point, but I've had reps threaten to ban my PayPal for completely random reasons. And when I was, speaking to the rep, I was very polite, very outgoing and friendly, but the reps were very rude. They weren't helpful at all. They were very limited in what they could answer with. They will often try to push things back on you and make it your fault, from my experience. And at the end of the phone call, the rep that I spoke with was in a higher division of PayPal, and the guy ended up telling me, have a half decent day at the end of the call. In layman's terms, I think that means go f*** yourself. So point number 3 is that PayPal can totally and randomly ban you for no good reason at all. And this is something that I have dealt with in the past. PayPal will ban you for any reason that they deem to be high risk. Now, whether it's their fault or your fault, it doesn't matter. They can randomly ban your account, and when they ban your account, they will hold those funds and any money that you have inside of PayPal for 6 months, and there is nothing that you can do to get the money back. You could potentially look into legal options, but once again, in their terms, you give them permission to do that. So just be very careful and aware that PayPal is basically a platform that can ban you and will ban you for any reason that they feel necessary. Now, this is not always a situation where somebody obviously broke the terms of service or tried to hurt PayPal or abuse PayPal. It could be somebody who's totally following all of the rules of PayPal. They've been very compliant, they've done a great job and have a great reputation, but they get randomly banned. I particularly ran into this issue because PayPal had somehow linked me to another person who had a PayPal account that happened to have a negative balance. And the account was not even in my name, but they somehow linked me, whatever that even means, and they threatened to ban me for life from PayPal and everybody in my household and anybody that I associated with. And it was just a really bad situation. I've also had situations where I have had people who have abused the PayPal system, which is my next point, and they basically use stolen credit card information to buy a bunch of my products. They then get shipped out. and all those people obviously realize their credit card information's been stolen. They file a fraud claim, and it comes back and it affects me as a seller. So that type of stuff is just really poor treatment of your sellers, and I'm not sure how PayPal really plans on staying around in the long term when they continue to treat their sellers this way. So the next point is a seller-sided issue, and this is one of the biggest problems with PayPal, in my opinion, when it comes to selling online. You are completely opened up for a ton of fraud being committed against your company, and not by PayPal, but by customers. PayPal has a policy that tends to lean towards buyer protection. That's their big thing, is buyer protection. And what that really means is that they're going to try to side with the buyer no matter what. And of course, you can provide things like tracking numbers, but I mean, they can basically come back and say the item's not as described, it's not this and that. And I mean, it basically opens you up to fraud, and people can get their money back even after they've gotten your stuff outside of your policies. They can completely defraud you and leave you with thousands of dollars in damages. So that's a major, major problem with the system, and that's one of the biggest reasons that I don't do business with PayPal. So the fifth and final reason that I would not recommend you use PayPal and you stick with using your credit card is that it's much easier for your PayPal account to get hacked. Now, I'm not saying that PayPal has a terrible fraud prevention system or that they're easy to hack or anything like that. But if you think about it, in theory, it is much, much, much more difficult with chip technology and cards today to effectively hack a credit card. And all credit cards are going to have an easy way of recourse and fraud protection that are going to be an extra layer to protect you from that type of activity. And they're not going to hold you liable. So if PayPal, let's say your PayPal account gets hacked and there's a negative balance that's accrued, if for some reason they're not able to, or you're not able to prove that it's 100% not your activity, or somebody used a VPN, or some hacker really went to a lot of work and effort to make it look like you made those purchases, if you refuse to cover those balances and you charge back, there's a chance that PayPal could come after you in those situations. And this really goes back to my first point. A lot of people don't realize that the buyer protection that PayPal offers is nothing new at all. Your credit card company actually offers an even better solution for getting your money back if you've been scammed or defrauded. And they give you up to 6 months in most cases, just as PayPal does. And the really big benefit to using a credit card versus PayPal is that if your dispute is somehow won by the scammer or whoever owes you your money back, you can reopen the dispute and you can escalate it to higher versions. So it's not like PayPal where if they've made a final decision on a claim, you're just kind of out of your money. Now, just to be fair to PayPal and wrapping this up, I do want to say that there are ways to use PayPal so that you're able to be fully protected and kind of maximize your protection from both PayPal's side and your credit card company. And that's simply just to use your credit card through PayPal. But then again, you get right back into the same situation of, should I use my credit card through PayPal or should I just use my credit card anyways? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. As I said in the beginning of this video, this is just my personal opinion and just my experiences from using PayPal as both a buyer and a seller. Let me know your experiences with PayPal down below in the comments section. Always smash that like button, subscribe, and until next time.
We're taking off.